Alright, it looks like we're live. And the audio is running. Let's double check that she's working. The fan is making a lot of noise. Oh, we're working, alright. We are good to go. Alrighty, so thus begins our Christmas morning Christmas haul stream, where I talk about the literal mountain of plastic sitting next to me and what I'm going to do with it all, and then we probably build something, but we'll see how long it takes. Today I've got some vanilla cream. It's okay, not the best, but it's what I had, so that will be fueling me this morning as we look at way too much plastic. So to share the wall, behold, way too much plastic. So this is probably about 3,000 points of Tyranids. 1,500-ish points of, probably a little more than that, of Seraphon, and a bunch of assorted stuff, and one big Gundam, and a bunch of assorted other guys, sort of to round out various forces I have. So we'll start off with some of the little guys, and we'll move up. So, welcoming in my Tyranid Hive fleet, I have a Broodlord. So standalone HQ model. Pretty rad. He's like a big Jeansteeler essentially. So, very xenomorphy. Comes with this little bugaboo base, which is kind of cool. So these guys, they sort of, they go and they form the planet, and then they welcome in or call in the Tyranids when the planet's ready for eating. So he's pretty cool. He's a nice little HQ. He's one of the smallest point HQs the Tyranids have, which is very cool. So if I want to take a bunch of big bugs, I can take a smaller leader, and it works really well. Plus, right now all the troops I have are Jeansteelers, so I have like 1 billion Jeansteelers right now in this file here. So having a leader that sort of looks like them is really cool and nice and thematic. So it's pretty sweet. So we've got, I'm going to set these guys off to the side as I talk about them. So we've got a Tyranid Broodlord. Then we have our sludge puppy here, the Beasts of Nergul. So I believe this counts as an elite for Nergul. I wanted one of these because they're in the Chaos Bane video game, and they're really cool in that. And I also can use one with my Warcry Nergul Warband. So this was the unit I was missing to have all of the options. So pretty cool, bunch of options on the sprues. We'll look at a different Broodlord later. We'll look at the sprues for that one later. But it's got a big old base. This is either a 50 or a 60. He's got some pretty neat sprues. He has belly there with a bunch of teeth on the inside. Get a little closer to that. There's some options there. There's one with all the organs exposed, and it's going to be a big mouth. Clearly I'm going to pick the big mouth. Let's see what we got here. We've got a bunch of tentacle goopy pipe things. So these sort of just go all over. One of them I believe is the mane that goes down the back, and some of these I think are fingers maybe. Not sure. Bunch of goopy tentacles. This is the rest of the body, and some the different head options. So it comes with 3 different head options. He's got this one where it has goo holding the mouth shut, or a single horn one, or this multi-horn one with the big bulgy eyes. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with yet, but we'll see. Then he's got some tongue options. There's a serrated, a serrated tongue with teeth on it, and then there's one that's a sucker tentacle kind of thing. So yeah, it's cool. He's got a bunch of options. these function in units of 1, but really I wanted it for Warcry, so I mean it could go with the rest of my Nergul guys, but I'll really probably use it for Warcry. It's what I really wanted it for. Alright, now I'll get into some bigger models. We have this very ugly white box. So these are... Woo! Merry Christmas to you guys too, on actual Christmas morning. For me anyway, it's like afternoon for you guys, I know. But, so these ugly ass boxes, these are when they don't sell them in the stores anymore. They put them in these stupid fucking white boxes that are super ugly. So what this actually is awesome. It's just an ugly fucking box. This is, see, it says on the instructions. No, even the instructions are white and ugly. So this is Storm Vermin. These are the up-armored versions of the basic infantry for Skaven. So I didn't have any of these, and they're like a big part of the Vermintide video game. So I really wanted a set of them. So it's super cool. So these are the original square bases that Warhammer Fantasy used to come with. These are terrible. I hate these. They can go fucking die. And then it comes with nice round bases, because it should, because that's how everything should be. Everything should be on round bases. But the sprue is pretty rad. So each one of them is going to be you can see the heads up here in the corner. A little closer. You can see the heads. They're like super armored rats. So they're pretty rad, and there's a guy with a single hand weapon, but most of the guys are going to have these big like pikes here. And then there's one banner bearer in the group, which is also really rad. But lots of cool stuff, lots of nice detail. You can see how tight these runners are. So they're much more recent Skaven than a lot of the other models. So they've got these big like battlement kind of blouses and stuff, and they've got some shields. And you get a lot of them in here too. I actually don't know how many you get. Let's figure that out. Let's count the feet. Okay, so 1, 3, 4. So that's 4 on that runner. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And are these just duplicated runners? Yes. Holy shit, you get 20 Storm Vermin? I don't think a unit has 20 in it. I think a unit's like 10, right? That's cool though. You get 20 Storm Vermin. Hell yeah, that's great. So yeah, so it looks like there's 2 sets of runners in here. And they're just duplicated. So you get the one with the banner, and then you get this one. So that's super cool. And they look really nice. I'm super looking forward to building them. Even if they come with the stupid square bases. But they'll go in the base Ziploc baggie. That's all they'll do. They'll live there forever. Because they're the worst. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Pick the Saray. Oh, on the Beast of Nergul? Yeah, it's really cool in it. Alright. We'll look at a different runner of these guys, because I have some more of these. So we'll leave this one closed. So this is a bunch of Harpies. They're a fast attack option. Or I guess technically they're called gargoyles. But they're a fast attack option for the Tyranids. So you get 10 in a box. And they pretty much just fly forward and shoot stuff. They're pretty cool because they go really well when you have a flying hive tyrant, which is one of the things I'm going to build out of these boxes. So it'll be cool. He can like fly in and he'll be able to take some bunch of units with him. So they're pretty neat. We'll look at their runners when I get to a different box. Alright. Now we've got some more Tyranids. So this is the current Start Collecting Tyranid box. It includes a Trigon, which can also be a Moloch, another Broodlord, and a set of Jeansteelers. So, crack her open. Pretty awesome artwork there, actually. Yeah, that's actually super cool. It's just our instructions telling us how to build the Trigon or the Moloch. Showing us some Jeansteelers and then showing us the rules for them. Oh, that's actually really cool. There's like a where to go next box. So there's some Carnifexes there, some Venom Throbes, and some Warriors. I'm going to have to pick all of those up. Hell yeah. I'm going all in on the big old Vorbugs. Alright, so let's look at the Jeansteelers. 4 per runner. They should be duplicated runners. They have an option of having clawed hands, or these like scythe hands. And they have an option of having extra armor. I'm probably going to build them all with the extra armor because I think it looks cooler, and then just not run them with it. But they have a bunch of head options, which is pretty cool. Ah, crap. Stuck in the beard. A bunch of head options, pretty cool. There's one here with like a tentacle face. There's one that's like xenomorph tongue with a little mouth on it, stuff like that. So they're pretty rad. They are pretty old models. You can see like all the crazy space on the runner. But they still have really nice detail. They'll just have a couple mold lines and stuff that need to be cleaned up. So you get 2 runners of those because it's these used to come 8 per unit. They now run 5 per unit. So technically you get like a unit and a half in this box, which is pretty cool. So these are going to round out the other Jeansteelers I have. So it's going to bring me to a total of 40 Jeansteelers, because they're 8, they number up to average units. So actually we ought to run 2 big blocks of 20, which is pretty cool. It's like 1 billion attacks. So, yep, so you get some Jeansteelers. Then you get to the really big boy in this model, which is the Trigon. So, he can have big claws, little claws. The big differentiation between both versions of the Trigon is whether or not it has this big, like, open predator monster mouth, or not. And if you give it the monster mouth thing, it can actually just straight up eat enemy units. And if you don't, it becomes like a pseudo kind of like carrier unit, where it burrows underground and then units can go with it, so it can advance up the board without like being shot at, which is pretty cool. So he's going to be a really big guy. He's basically going to be as tall as a knight. So he's pretty rad and super duper big. So you can see some of his centipede-like parts. He's got his little legs and stuff. There's his big back. Parts of his belly. More tail parts there. So he actually has a lot of pieces, which is pretty cool. And then we have our Broodlord sprue. So between the 2 Broodlords I got, I'm going to have to figure out a way to differentiate them a little bit. But nice and simple little runner. He comes with this big cool base thing here, and then a big body here, which is really cool. I am happy this one doesn't like curve its tail between its legs, because it just always looks super weird, like the Patriarch does. So he's got a nice sort of different hunch to him. Super nice model, very nice and clean. So we will build him up, and that is that. And that is what you get in the Start Collecting Tyranids box. You get some cool stuff. Ah, crap. Come on. There we go. And just to show off that awesome artwork again, that's cool as hell. I love that. That's good shit. Okay, and for sake of brevity, we're going to So I also got a standalone Trigon. Same big snake guy as the other box. You can see there's the Moloch there in the box in the back. But same dude. Oh, crap. You can have this big like rattle, or you can have like this big pincher. I think the rattle's probably cooler looking, but I don't know the rule difference. But yeah, same cool guy, so I'm going to be able to build each one. I'm going to be able to build a Moloch and a Trigon. One of them I'll probably like build like into the ground and its tail like snaking through and stuff, so it looks like it's like erupting. I'll probably do that with the Trigon. And yeah, that'll be super cool. And the Moloch, I actually have a bunch of, I'll have some extra pieces, so I might actually like super turbo weird him up with a giant like vor mouth, so yeah, it's cool. So that's Trigon number 2. Alright, now moving away from the grimdark future to the grimdark past, we have start collecting skinks. Box is a little fucked up, but everything inside is fine. Thank you, whoever delivered this, good job. But we got start collecting skinks. So you get 3, I think they're called Pterodon riders. The big Basilodon, who's like the big armored guy in the middle. And you get a bunch of skinks and a skink leader. You can see it all here on the side. And then on the back. The really cool thing about the Basilodon is he gets a weapon that shoots snakes. And I'm really sad they don't have it pictured. I mean, technically the solar engine is the one everyone uses. But I mean, it's super cool that he gets a weapon that shoots snakes. So, let's check them out. I'm super happy to have some cool scaly boys. I was very sad when they did not get a Battle Force box this year. They were the force I was really rooting for to get a Battle Force, and they didn't get one. So, 2 star collectings, is basically the same thing, so it's awesome. So, got instructions for the skinks, and then instructions for Star Priest, Basilodon. And you can see he gets different stuff. So, oh, does he actually not have instructions on how to build the snake gun? No, he doesn't. Does he actually come with the snake gun? He has to come with the snake gun. It'd be so weird if he didn't. Alright, we'll look at that in a minute. So, we've got our first Ripperdactyl / Pterodon here. So, lots of neat options there. Very tight. This is all the big dinosaurs for these lizards are like newer models, and then all of the little guys are like really old models, which is just really strange. So the dinosaurs are like super fancy, and the basic troops are not as detailed. So pretty rad. They can have different kinds of bombs and stuff, and different heads, and they're super cool. And each one has a little skink man that rides on his back. Do you actually not get the snake gun? No, you totally do. There it is, right there. There's a snake gun. Why do they not have instructions for the fucking snake gun? Maybe they're like, the snake gun sucks, don't use it, use the other thing that's OP. Yeah, but yeah, here's the snake gun. Got some snakes pouring out of it. Pretty cool. He's gonna have a bunch of little dinosaurs riding on him, which is pretty rad. And there he is. So he's a big old chungus. And I think all of his options are basically what gun he has. So, yeah. But he's super cool, super rad. I don't know if he's going to be magnetizable, but we'll see when I actually build him. And then we have our skink buddies. You can see how old these runners are. I mean, the space in a runner indicates basically how old it is because all the new stuff is much tighter. So if you look at that versus this, you can see that this is like ancient. But they look really good. They still have really nice detail on them. and they're still little cutie little scaly bros. So that's adorbs. So it looks like we get 2 runners, and they're identical, so we're going to get 12 skinks? Weird. Okay, we get 12. That must be an old thing from Warhammer Fantasy, where the unit sizes were different. So we're going to have some extra skinks, so that's pretty cool. And then this is the runner for the Star Priest. This is a super cool model. Lots of fun work you can do on this for painting it. You know, because it's basically covered in feathers. So you can do some really cool, like, let's paint the feathers kind of things. Like, cool rainbow patterns and stuff. So that is the Start Collecting Skinks. So almost all of these have Warcry rules, except for the Big Basilodon. So Skinks are now going to be my second Age of Sigmar army. So I'm going to have Skinks and Skaven, Seraphon and Skaven. I have to get the Seraphon battle tome now, which is pretty fitting considering those 2 races hate each other. Because in the old world, Skaven drove these guys to be extinct. So that's kind of mean. Alright. Keeper of Secrets, we're going to do you later. Ugh. Big hunker of a box here. This is the Start Collecting Seraphon. This is the other part of the one of the 2 Seraphon Start Collecting boxes. You get a big old fuck off dinosaur. You get some cavalry, and you get some like heavier kind of troops. The heavier troops have kind of doofy faces, but the rest of them look pretty good. The big dinosaur especially is a pretty recent model and really cool. So yeah, let's check them out. So again, all of these have Warcry rules except for the big dinosaur. He's going to be the one thing in here that doesn't have Warcry rule, unfortunately. Okay, so let's see what this is. This is part of the big dinosaur. So there's some kind of like Saurus Old Blood or Saurus Knight that can go on it, and I think you can build like 2 or 3 different types of dinosaurs with different heads. One of them has this like weird, like elongated head, and one looks more like a tiger. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, see, there's the weird elongated head. Oh, I fucking love that design. It's so cool. And then, yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, but I kind of want to build the one that looks like a tiger. Yeah, look at it down here. Ah, oh, choices. That's a hard choice because that's not going to be magnetizable at all. But yeah, super cool, big dinosaur bro. Really cool unit for the army, and he's nice and tall, and he'll look really nice. So and then we get into, these actually don't look nearly as bad as I thought they would in person. These actually aren't that bad, yeah. See, like, they have a lot of detail in their faces, but the thing that betrays them is how flat the bottom of the jaw is. It really betrays a lot of the detail. I bet you if you packed it out a little bit with Greenstaff, it would look a billion times better. Same thing with the arms, because the way the arms are cut, they're flat cut, so they flat connect to the body here. That's what it makes them look like Ken dolls. So with some of the older models like this, I actually you shave off a bunch of the arm and the shoulder, turn it a little bit more into a ball, and then you pack it with green stuff, and you can position it in a bunch of different positions, and it looks a billion times nicer. I had to do it with my rat ogres, and I'm genuinely really happy with how they look now, but out of the box I was like, God, these look like shit. But yeah, I bet you if I pack the bottom of the face a little bit, plump that face up, it'll look a billion times better. But yeah, that's cool. Alright, so this is 4, and then another 4 and a duplicated runner, and then another 4 and a duplicator. So you get 12 again. That's so weird. Yeah, it has to be a Warhammer Fantasy thing. So 12 bigger lizard bros. My ring gets caught in the lizard bros. Then, dun dun dun, we have the start of the lizard dino bros. So these are going to be lizard bros riding bigger dinosaurs. So there's some cool extras in here. There's some weird snakes. Looks like there's going to be a choice between a couple different banners. It's pretty cool. In Warhammer Fantasy, they've probably had different uses. I like this head down here with the big nose ring. That's super cool. Need more of those. And their shields are nice and detailed. Now let's see. And we have another sprue of that. So that's another duplicate. So that means how many we're gonna get then? We're gonna get 8 of these. Yeah, I guess 8. And the whole bottom of the box is dinos. So these are entirely self-contained little dinosaur runners. Let's see, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, so you get 8. I guess a unit has 8? I genuinely don't know. I'll be super honest. I've been wanting to do Seraphon, but they're one of the things that I was like, oh, I'll do those in like the middle of next year. I was not expecting to actually get Seraphon, so I actually I'm not as familiar with their rules and stuff as with the other models. So yeah, these little dinos are actually really cool, or the mounts are really cool. Yeah, nice. Alright, so you get a lot of cool stuff. These start collecting Seraphon boxes are great because they're a nice mix of here's some troops, and then here's a big dinosaur, and here's, you know, like some kind of heavy big unit. And personally, that's what I really like in a start collecting box. I know a bunch of people are like, oh, these are the skin constructions. Oh well, you can go in here. Some people are like, I want to be able to buy 40 copies of this start collecting box. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'd rather be able to buy one and then pick up the little things I want, you know? So these being how they are is really cool. Although I do know that people that are like super serious, I'd buy like a couple copies of these because they are actually good for that. But I don't know. I'm just rambling now. All right. On to the fanciness. That is this Keeper of Secrets. Demons of Sunash. So this is a Sluneshi Greater Demon. Right now I have this really sort of silly, fluffy idea for a 40k list. It's basically 4 patrol detachments. Each one is essentially 25 power level of one specific god. So I actually have Nergul, Khorne, and Tzeentch already built for that list to run a full 2,000 points, super fluffy list. At the end of it, I would have like 2 command points, but it would be cool, and it would probably do horrible in the game, but I love the fluffy idea of like having a patrol detachment with 1 greater demon in it, and then you know, that whole detachment is all themed around that demon. So this is my demon for Slunesh. So I have some Slunesh troops built, and they've just been sort of waiting. I have been like, oh, I'm not going to finish them until I get the greater demon. Well, I got it for Christmas, and now I got to finish them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, so these boxes are awesome if they open, because they come on, dun 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 dun, Slunesh. So Got some really cool demons down there, fighting and doing demony things. So Games Workshop is trying to like rebrand Sunash, and it's kind of weird. They're trying to make it about like more stuff than just like boobs and sex. But honestly, I love dicks. So if it was literally just the dicks faction, I'd be perfectly happy. So the fact they're trying to rebrand it, I'm like, that's okay. It's whatever. But you know, I love dicks. So if all the models were just literally giant running dicks, that would be perfect. This would be my army of armies. So I don't understand the rebranding, but you know, I'd much rather have an army of dicks. So here we go. So she's got a bunch of fancy options here. That hair is really weird. You can have weird hair. I think that's Shalaxi Hellbane, who's like a specific one. And showing it off here, because there are some options that I believe I'm going to be able to magnetize, like which weapon it has and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to have to get a little creative with it. So the runners for this are really are deceptively simple for how fancy a model it is. So this entire runner is basically cloth and like jewelry, just little bits of like stuff to drape off of it and sort of get it to look really, really fancy. So that's pretty rad. And then this runner is the entirety of the model. So you get a couple different faces that you can turn into different things. I really like the more cow face. I think that one's really cool. You get a bunch of different crab claw arms. You get a big tail. You get the body, which is almost entirely one piece, which is weird. And you get a big spear, shield, sword, backs of the legs. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a super cool model. It's going to be nice to lead my 25 power level of Sunash in my big, super dumb, fluffy army that I had planned. And this will round that out, and it's really cool. She will be getting a bunch of custom sculpting, because all of my greater demons have all been customized in some way. So I'll probably think of something super lewd to do to her, because it's Sunash after all. And then I'll probably match that up in all the little troops. So she will probably not be Instagram safe by the time I am done. Because most of my demons are not. My demons of corn are especially not. So yep. So yeah, she's super cool. She's actually one of the things I'm debating building first, but maybe we'll welcome the Hive Fleet first, I'm not sure. Alright, so speaking of the Hive Fleet, the Hive Fleet descends and is gone, and then descends again. I have 2 Brood Swarm Battle Force boxes. One of these I picked up myself. Because basically an order was put in 2 different game stores, and I was like, fuck it, full Tyranid army, let's go. We're going hard into Tyranids. We're gonna take our Xenomorph 4 bugs, and we're gonna go to town. So yeah, it's why I wound up with 2 of them. So in this box you get 16 Jeansteelers, so that's 2 boxes of Jeansteelers, but it's technically 3 units of Jeansteelers, because they come in units of 5. You get 1 group of Harpies for 10. You get 3 Hive Guard or Tyrant Guard. So you can build the melee or the ranged version of these guys. Then you also get a Haruspex. The alternate model for him, which is not shown in the box, is the Exocrine, which is like a big living artillery piece. And then you get a Tyranid Hive Tyrant who can also build the Swarm Lord, who's like a named version as well. So all the options are in these boxes, which is really nice. Which one did I open before? Is it this one? I was looking at the runners of one of these last night, so some of the runners are out here on the table. I think it's this one. So we'll open that one up. Yes, that's right. Okay. So you get 16 Jeansteelers. We've already looked at Jeansteelers. I'm going to set them off to the side. I'm actually going to put them behind me at the rest of the Jeansteeler runners. Okay. Now you get the Harpies. We didn't look at these in the box earlier, so we're looking at them now. So each one of them is basically like a termagant body, and then a set of wings and a gun. Pretty cool. They have a bunch of neat head options where they have these like Gundam style horns, which is pretty neat. And that's about it. They don't have a lot of options or anything. They just have sort of the one gun. I'm actually really surprised there's not like a melee version of these where they could be like faster attack Jeansteelers. Would be pretty cool, but it doesn't look that way. But yeah, you get 10 of them. They look nice and simple to build. They'll look cool on the table, and they'll go really good with the flying Hive Tyrant I'm going to build. Speaking of which, here's some Hive Tyrant runners. So this is the runner for the basic Hive Tyrant. So he's got his weapons, he's got this big cool gun, he's got some scythe arms. These are the normal like standing legs and the normal standing ass. The alternate for that runner for that is this one. Get out of there. Go away. So this is alternate weapon options. This is the head for the Swarmlord. And the big wings for the Hive Tyrant or Flyerant if you want to. This is also the tail where he can be like standing up on his tail if you want him to be doing that. Super, super cool. Really happy they included all of the runners for this. Because technically they didn't have to include this runner. Because this runner is all like extra options and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Now we're going to move into the Hive Guard. So you get 3 of these guys, and they can be either melee guys with big crab claws, swords, and like whips, or they can be 2 different types of gun guys. The gun guys are really popular because they can basically shoot around corners. And sort of the in-canon lore for that is that they're basically firing a bug out of their gun that tracks people down. So it's pretty cool. So you can like set them up behind a building and basically use them like auto-targeting artillery, which is pretty rad. So I am going to have 6 of these out of the 3 boxes, so I'm not sure how I'm going to build them. I'm debating building them all as gun guys and then magnetizing which gun they have. Or maybe I'll build 3 of them as the melee guys. Not sure yet. But they're pretty cool. Both the melee and the gun guys are really nice looking, cool models. You know, they got these big, cool crab claws, grrr, kind of thing. Or the guns they have these really like nasty. You can see the one right here. There's like nasty spikes coming out of them, like, you know, not shooting bullets, shooting some kind of horrible little squirmy organism into you. It's gross. Alright, so now we move on to the Haruspex / Exocrine. So you can see some bits here for the Exocrine's big vor mouth. It's got these big claws as an option. This giant like eat y'all ass tongue. This is parts of his body, and this is part of the big cannon for the Exocrine if you want him to be that. So the Haruspex is like a crazy melee model. So he just gets in there and eats stuff. And when he eats stuff, it heals him, which is pretty cool. And the Exocrine is artillery. So I think these are actually going to be magnetizable between the 2. I think the whole head and cannon unit that comes out of the chest, I think it comes out in one block. But I'll see when I start building it. We'll see how it goes. this is the rest of the stuff for the exocrine / Harpies. We've got some legs. We've got the big chungus, chunky front arms. We have the other side of the set of claws. We have the start of the head there. Get that on camera. That's really cool. And then down here we have the exocrine head, where he just looks really, really stressed. So lore-wise, the exocrine for this is actually the gun, and the other organism is attached to is basically just like a carrier. Okay, so here's the picture of these are the gun versions of the Hive Guard, and the melee versions down here. And then Tyranids, there we go. Okay, so this is the Harpies, and that is the exocrine. So this whole unit, I think, comes out in one block. So I think this guy's actually going to be magnetizable. So we'll see about that, and we'll see how it goes. I might end up doing that. The way the Tyranid arms work, I'm not actually a big fan of magnetizing them, because I much kind of prefer doing like more of a dynamic pose with them. I think they look a lot cooler if you do that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might end up magnetizing them and just being like, you know, maximizing my units, or I might be trying to maximize cool and not magnetizing them. We'll see. So that is everything. Not quite. We have our one lone Gundam this year, who is the best Gundam. Alright, so best Gundam, the Gundam Barbatos. This is the main protagonist mobile suit from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. This Gundam is basically like an animated personification of anxiety. It is super cool. My favorite mobile suit. You can see all its options there. This is the master grade version, where it comes with basically everything it has in the show, including the little pilot. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So this guy in this first season 1 of the show has 6 different forms. And about a year ago, I bought the option set for this, and I bought it from P Bandai, and it's been waiting for it to come out. And it was apparently on the boat that lost all of the containers over in Japan. So I'm not sure when I'll be getting that now, but when I do, it'll come with all 6 forms of extra armor for this, which is really cool. There he is. So this is the master grade, so the build will be a little more complex than normally for these IBO kits, but the IBO designs are actually really, like, intentionally in lore very simple. There he is, getting ready to kill the Gundam Gushan. I also love that Gundam. Gundam Gushan is actually the Gundam that convinced me to get into Gunpla. Yeah, because they weren't going to make a figure of it, and I loved the design so much. I was like, what is this model thing that I used to do as a kid? I'll check this out again. And it was because of the Gundam Gushan. But yeah, a little more fancy of a build because of master grade, which shouldn't be too bad. There's his big gun. There's his big spear. You can see the mechanism for the gun for loading and unloading actually works, which is really cool. Because he just has this big like artillery gun instead of having like a laser gun or whatever a normal Gundam would have. So yeah, there he goes. He's going to be a super fun project. I'm going to paint him all up, weather him up, detail the living hell out of him. It's going to be really fun. When I get my option set, if I ever get it, I'll probably buy a second one of these, and then I'll probably do the first form and the 6th form and stand them next to each other in my cabinet, because I'm a big old dork like that. I won't be doing all the forms because I'm not that big of a dork, but first and the sixth are different enough for me. The one on the box here, this is actually the third form. So the standard armor this Master Grade comes with is the third form. You can see that's little baseball style shoulder pads. So yeah, pretty rad. And that is my Christmas haul of never-ending plastic, which is pretty cool. Alright. So, I feel like I should build something. I don't know what. Alright, well, we'll just call it there then. And that will be my Christmas haul video. Just showing off all the crazy cool stuff I got. And looking at the runners and talking about what we're going to do with it all. We'll end with Fancy Keeper of Secrets and Sledge Puppy. And the motherfucking Hive Fleet. And we'll go ahead and we'll call it there. Thank you guys for watching me talk about toys for an hour, apparently. That's how long Christmas haul took. But thank you guys for watching. I will be playing a game of Warcry on Sunday. Probably Warcry. I'll be playing single player Warcry, or I'll be playing single player 40k. Probably Warcry. And yeah, that's good. I did also get a 3D printer, which I will be trying out tomorrow. So next Wednesday, I will probably be talking about 3D printing shenanigans and how I burn the house down, probably. But we'll see. Alright, well, that's it for me. Merry Christmas, Mele Kali Kimaka to everybody.